My grandma left me a diary in her will, and in it contained a confession about who my dad really was. When Grandma Rosalie died last month, I expected to inherit her collection of ceramic cats, or maybe her ancient recipe box. Instead, the lawyer handed me a leather-bound diary with a note. For Delilah, read this when you're ready to know the truth about your family. I wasn't ready, but grief has a way of making you desperate for connection with the dead. The diary started innocently enough. Entries about her garden, complaints about the neighbors, updates on her book club. The pages were yellowed with age, filled with her careful cursive handwriting. Then I reached an entry from 28 years ago, right around the time I was born. I can't keep this secret anymore. Watching Delilah grow up, seeing those eyes that don't belong to the man she calls father, it's eating me alive. Patricia made me promise never to tell. But what if something happens to me? What if Delilah never knows who she really is? My hand started shaking so violently I nearly dropped the diary. Patricia was my mom. The man I called father was dad. The same dad who taught me to ride a bike, walked me down the aisle at my wedding last year, and still called me every Sunday to check on me and ask about work. I flipped the page, my heart hammering against my ribs like a caged bird. The affair lasted 6 months. Patricia was so unhappy with Gerald. He was working 18-hour days, barely home, treating her like a roommate instead of a wife. She met him at the coffee shop on 5th Street. Dr. Nathaniel Blackwood. Married, charming, everything Gerald wasn't. Dr. Blackwood. I'd never heard that name in my life, but something about it felt familiar in a way that made my stomach lurch and twist into knots. When Patricia found out she was pregnant, she panicked. Gerald would know the timing was wrong. They'd barely been intimate in months, but Dr. Blackwood had those distinctive amber eyes, that cleft chin. Patricia prayed the baby would look like Gerald instead. I ran to the bathroom mirror, my legs unsteady beneath me. Amber eyes stared back at me, eyes that had always seemed out of place in family photos. A cleft chin I'd always been self-conscious about. Features that made strangers comment on how I looked nothing like my parents, how I must be adopted. I raced back to the diary, pages trembling in my hands like autumn leaves. Patricia cut off all contact with Dr. Blackwood, told him she was moving away and the baby would be raised as Gerald's. She made me swear on my own children's lives to never breathe a word. But Dr. Blackwood tried to find her. He came to my house 3 times, begging for any information about Patricia and his child. The room started spinning. My entire life was built on a lie. Everything I thought I knew about myself, my identity, my family, all of it crumbling with each word I read. I flipped through more pages frantically, looking for more details, desperate for answers, when a folded piece of paper fell out and fluttered to the floor. It was a newspaper clipping from 2 weeks ago. Local cardiologist dies in car accident. Dr. or Harzi. Nathaniel Blackwood, 58, was killed when his vehicle was struck by a drunk driver on Highway 72. Dr. Blackwood is survived by his wife of 32 years, Elena, and his son, Dylan, 26. The clipping was dated the day before Grandma's funeral. My biological father had died the same day we buried the woman who kept his secret. My phone buzzed. Mom was calling. Delilah, honey, we need to talk. Can you come over? There's something important your father and I need to discuss with you. I stared at the diary, the newspaper clipping, my reflection in the black phone screen. They already knew. Somehow, they already knew I'd found out. Actually, Mom, there's something I need to discuss with you too. I couldn't fit what happens next in this short video. Watch the rest down below.